Okay, here we are. It is live now. Right. I'm Diana Boskma. I'm in the UK. I'm an insight coach, mental fitness coach, and relationship coach. I do this work because I love people and want to help them improve their lives in various ways. Today, I'm talking with Kris Pavone. Would you like to tell us a bit about yourself?
Yeah, hey Diana, thanks so much for having me. This is so fun.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Kris Pavone. As you said, I currently live in Tampa, Florida. I'm from Northeast Ohio, and I am a business and life coach. I've been doing that, I'd say, since the end of 2017, and decided to turn pro when I went through as I say, the same program that you're have
Yeah.
gone through, and yeah, I a former pro wrestler. I was with the WWE wrestling and did that for 10 years. Became a school teacher and started life coaching. And now I coach full time. I love it, and yeah, I just want to. I will continue to, at least for now anyway, to stay in this area
Yeah.
and continue to grow and learn and have fun and
Mm-hmm.
all that comes with it.
Yeah. Well, there's some really old people in this business, so you can do this forever,
Right? Yeah.
which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Um, what made you go into coaching?
Yeah. Great question. So when I left wrestling, so wrestling was like the main thing I wanted to do my whole life. Grew up
Mm-hmm.
watching as a kid, and I got to do that, which was great.
Yeah.
And then when I left, I did it for 10 years. And then when I left, I was very content and happy
Mm-hmm.
with what I'd done.
Yeah.
And then I mentioned that because in my mind, I thought, okay, now it's time to settle down and get a real job. And I was very
A real job.
happy I was able to do that. Yeah. School teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Took all the tests and everything I needed to do to get in there and all that.
Yeah.
And I thought, this is what I'll do for the next 30 years. I was 31 when I started.
Mm-hmm.
And, um, and then after a few years of doing that, I kind of started to think, maybe I don't want to do this, um, for the next 30 years. And
Mm-hmm.
it's funny because my wife is a good reflection of this time in my life because when I met her, I had just completed my first year of teaching, and her and I had a conversation that I don't remember. And she had asked me if I ever wanted to do anything other than teach, and she had made some suggestions about, income and that type of thing. Just she was just inquiring, and
Mm-hmm.
apparently I got really offended, and I said, "Hey, I'm a teacher. If that's not good enough for you, then I don't know what to tell you. I'm very happy and very content."
Mm-hmm.
And she told me that a few years ago, and I was like, I said that because I have changed so much. I was like, I never said that.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, yeah, you did. So I mentioned that because it kind of ties in. After a few years of teaching, I started to think, I don't think I want to do the same thing every day. And then the pay, I had a bunch of old ideas about money.
Mm-hmm.
If you dislike your job, that's the more you should get paid. Just be grateful that you have a job, which is true. But
Marginally.
no matter what yeah, no matter what I did, you're going to get the same income. And
Yeah.
what happened was this entrepreneurial spirit started to be awoken in me. And I started to explore things and listen to
Mm-hmm.
business podcasts and entrepreneur podcasts. And through a series of just trying different things, I landed
Yeah.
on coaching. And it checks all the boxes for me. I love it.
Yeah. I get that.
Yeah.
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 So, what has been the most profound experience with coaching for yourself when you got coached?
Yeah. So, you know, I would have to say, because in a way, I've gotten coaching my whole life. It's just right when you look back,
Mm-hmm.
we've always had people
Yeah.
there in our lives, and I've always been somebody that always seeked out advice from people. That's what you mentioned, old people. I was always attracted to older people
Yeah.
because they have answers,
I
right?
know things.
Yeah, I used to love and just when I got a little older, like in my early 20s, I would love to sit with my grandma and just talk to her and not so much to keep, I mean, it was keeping her company as well, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, old people have been around, they know stuff, they have wisdom. And I always sought that out in all my professions. There's always been a coach or a mentor In my spiritual walk, I've always had someone there to
Mm-hmm.
guide me. And then on the professional side, you know, paying for a coach, enlisting or having a coach. So there's been many profound things that have happened to me professionally and personally. I would say the most profound thing for me being coach has been being coached as a coach, and how that's shifted for me and how I see the coaching profession. And really,
Yeah.
if I had to say one thing, it would be being able to know and understand what my professional self is versus my social self, because the two worlds
Yeah.
combined, and if I allow it, they'll get
Yeah.
mixed
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
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 That's been one of these things that I found really fascinating as well. This difference between the professional and social, and figuring
Yeah.
that out. It wasn't easy. I'm getting there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what's been the most profound experience that you've had with a client?
Let's see. Most profound experience with a client. Again, I don't think there's one in particular, but I've had experiences where the person will break down and start to cry because they've had like a pretty profound insight.
Yeah, I do
Um,
that.
yeah,
I'm one of the
yeah,
criers.
yeah. Or when something just clicks and you can see the person sees it. And the cool thing is, as you know, it ain't because I'm so awesome as a coach. It's like we just create that space for the person, right?
Yeah.
Um, so I've also learned that too.
Yeah.
And I've also learned that in the moment when if someone does break down and starts to cry, or has a huge insight, I've learned too to just sit with that. You don't have to, don't say anything. You don't have
Nope.
to say anything. Because I
Let
used
it
to be,
happen.
yeah, I used to get uncomfortable. Think, well, I gotta say something.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
Nope. When you let it happen, it happens better. I know
yeah,
that
yeah,
from personal experience. When people try to comfort me, I don't get to the end of it. I like to get to
yeah,
the end of it because then it sorts it right there and then, instead of that I have to do it 2, 3 times.
yeah, yeah.
Saves a lot of tears.
Sure,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. I find it beautiful, those kind of moments where people have this thing, oh, wait, or
Yeah, yeah.
it's kind of the same thing, just different people react differently.
Yeah.
So, as I have learned over the time that I've been coaching, is that every coach learns from their clients and from every client they coach. What has been the most interesting thing that you have learned from a client? The mirror stuff.
Yeah. Most interesting thing I've learned from a client.
Hmm.
I would say the ability to be willing to learn and try stuff out. Kind of like
Hmm.
that testing versus trusting. I don't need to trust something's gonna work. Let me just test it out. Let's just try it, and the willingness to be wrong.
Hmm. That's a good
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
It's not always easy to be wrong.
yeah. But I like it. I like being because it lets me know, not all the time, but most of the time, because it lets me know a lot of my crazy thoughts I have and all that is just not true.
Hmm.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, there's something to being wrong because you learn more from being wrong than being right.
Yep. I never want to be. I used to be the guy that would say, "Oh yeah, yeah, I know. No, I know. No, no, I know. Yeah, yeah, right, right. I know. No, you don't know.
Yeah, no, we're all out here to learn and learn a lot.
Yeah.
Do you have any other things that you'd like to talk about? Because I'm kind of at the end of my questions because they're not very. I don't have many. I just like talking about
Yeah.
coaching. So.
Yeah, that's great. And I like how I didn't know the questions beforehand because you could just answer organically.
Hmm.
Uh, you know, I love talking about the pro self and the social self because I would say that's probably been the one of the biggest shifts for me
Yeah,
that's happened. And this too. Have you seen these cards around anywhere? It's two students from the ACS made these. They're
I
called
have
C
seen.
visits.
Yeah, I have
Yeah,
seen them. I don't
I don't
have
know if
them,
it's
unfortunately.
backwards.
Hmm.
And yeah, and there's 52 cards in the deck, and you're supposed to sit with one a week. And this one says the highest form of service is a paid coaching relationship. And
Yeah.
it's something I've heard kind of from the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
and that and I'd say, oh yeah, yeah, sure, yeah, that's I get it.
Yeah, I know. I get it. Yeah. But you don't.
Yeah, I really did, and I knew I didn't, and now I'm really starting to get that in me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's been cool because there's been a shift, and I think what happens is when we're starting out, part of the proposal, well, it's on our end,
Mm-hmm.
getting over a lot of the fears and all of that of asking, and you
Yeah.
want to make the sale and get the income, and that's all good. And as I've done it and continue to grow, there's been a shift where it's like, in staying in my pro self, I love the paradoxes. There's so many paradoxes in coaching. um,
Yeah.
I'm running a business, so of course I want to make money,
Mm-hmm.
create income, but it's not all about the money. So when I offer a proposal with a client, once I saw from my pro side why I'm offering it and what I'm offering, um, and that the highest form of service is a paid coaching relationship, meaning this person, to go any further, they need to now invest and put money down.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
it's a service to them. Yeah. Once I saw that, like, proposing got really simple, and it became, I want a client, but I don't particularly need this client. So like, I really don't care
Yeah.
what you say. I care, but I don't care.
Yeah.
Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
You know,
Yeah.
I get it. You care for them. You want to help
Yeah.
them. But if they don't want the help, cool.
Right. I'm still gonna eat. Me and my wife are still gonna be able to eat
Mm-hmm.
tonight.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's yeah. I find it fascinating how this all works. It's, I don't know. It just keeps being really. The more I learn, the more interesting the whole job becomes as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
I had a shift last week where I did not struggle proposing for decent income all of a sudden, because that was a struggle for me for a while, and now it's not. But
Sure.
it's one shift that all of a sudden happens. It's not something that, I don't know what that is, but with coaching I found that the shifts happen pretty rapidly and then you sit with it for a while. I've not seen that. Well, some of it goes slower, I guess. Most of it's one shift and then it's a bit of pause again until the next shift happens.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yep. That's growth.
yeah, yeah. It's been really cool to experience all that. Is there
Yeah.
anything else that you would like to talk to the audience about?
Yeah.
How
Just
amazing you are, or something, or how great a coach you are, or whatever. It's about you promoting yourself today.
yeah. Yeah. And as far as that goes, it's like, that's another cool thing that I love about coaching. It's like, you just show up and be who you are, and
Mm-hmm.
you're going to connect with the people you're going to connect with. So we don't have to do any self promotion.
No, we don't. No, I
Yeah,
don't.
you can.
Yeah.
It's totally fine. My problem was when I first started, that's all I did, because I thought that's what you're supposed to do. I thought
Mm-hmm.
if I talked myself up enough, if I presented myself as an authority,
Yep.
people naturally just want to line up and talk to me. And it's
Yeah. No, it
really
doesn't
kind of
work.
the opposite is true. Yeah, the
I
more,
tried it.
sure, I think we all do. And it's wonderful because you have to just try stuff to find what works. But
Mm-hmm.
I think the more of an expert, the more impressive you seem, the less likely
Yeah.
people are to want to coach with you because they feel intimidated. I
Yeah.
can't get this with Diana. She's freaking up
Yep.
here, man.
Yeah.
you
They need
know?
humans. They don't need experts, because coaching is
Yeah.
much more when it's a human thing. Human to human works so much better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. It's
Um,
one of those other fascinating things.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anything else?
And I'll also just say too that I think coaching's a great profession because I heard Steve Chandler say that it's the only profession that requires ongoing spiritual and personal development and professional development, which is pretty cool, right?
It
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is really one of those things that I really like about it, because I've always liked doing it, but I've taken big breaks at times just because life got busy and now I can't afford it anymore, which is really cool actually. I just have to keep doing it because otherwise I will not stay that little step ahead of my clients.
Yeah, and
Where
yeah, right,
I can't take them to places I've not been.
right. And that's all you need to do is just stay a few steps ahead.
Yep.
That used to intimidate me. I would think I'm not even that much farther along as this person. And my coach pointed out to me, she's like, sometimes that's the best coaching relationship because you're not so far down the block than your client, you know?
Yep. You know where you've been, so it's easier to just take them
Yeah,
along a bit. Just take them by the hand,
yeah,
move them over.
yeah,
I like it. I like that. I really do like that. Is
yeah, yeah.
that it for today?
Yeah, that's I think I mentioned all my favorite things. I loved your questions.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I think that's it. Been
Okay.
great to connect with you. I know we've spoken
Hmm.
on Facebook before, so
Yeah,
yeah,
not like this yet. So that was cool.
yeah,
Thank you very much for doing this. I really enjoyed it.
yeah, Donna. Thank you too. Thanks so much for having me.
Okay. Thank you.